solve our question with an answer. And we feel happy with this answer, and we continue forward. And this little jump to answer is good, but what we have the opportunity to share with you is a new methodology where you will start with a question, and instead of just going a little bit to an answer, you will go all the way over here to what we say are possibilities. So this is very big, open thinking, all the way to something that maybe may be possible and maybe not be possible, but it's expanding the thinking. And we know that when you go all the way to possibilities, then if you just look a little bit over your shoulder here, what you see is a much larger solution. Instead of just an answer, you have a bigger solution. And so we ask that you will trust us on this big journey all the way over to possibilities, because we know from our experience you will get a much richer, much more dynamic, much more innovative, much more scalable and interesting solution if you travel this distance. So the way that we will go through this process is that we will focus it on different questions. So group one, the blue group, is focusing on, you're here, this work group, this work package meeting is around exploitation, yeah? So we want to serve you with thinking of ways, creative ways that you can share the Eastlay learnings with people outside of the group, yeah? You're at this stage now to think of sort of the marketing and the outreach and how you get it into other places. You've learned a lot already throughout this project. So the first group is focusing on how to share your learnings from this group with outside higher education institutions, okay? So they're focusing on higher education institutions in order to increase, so why? Why do we want to share it with them? It's because we will increase the innovations in the teaching of sustainable development and life sciences in Europe. I know this is a familiar topic to everyone in the room, and so this is focusing on how getting into the higher education world with your learnings. The second group, is the orange group, will be focusing on how to share the learnings with policymakers, because the initiatives of your project are both to get it into higher education and to get it into policy. And so again, and it's in order to increase the innovations in the teaching of life sciences in Europe. And Megan and I, when we go up into our rooms, will dig into these specific questions with you. But it's going to be so exciting to have sort of similar, you have very similar goal with two different audiences. And so we imagine that this will really get you along the road in thinking about exploitation of your projects. So we take you with this beginning question through 4 stages. And the first stage we call identify opportunity. And this process is called design thinking, which is the way of thinking if I needed to build a new pen. If this pen was not selling, I made these pens and no one's buying my pens. I need to make a better pen. I would take it through a process in my lab of making a better pen. And I would do some research, and how do people use my pen? What is the trouble? Why is nobody buying my pen, yeah? And then I would think, what are some new ways my pen could work? And how would I build my pen? And how will I get it on the shelf? So this is a concept that you're probably familiar with, design thinking for products. We use this process for design thinking of ideas. And so identify opportunity is the time for research. When you're thinking how to get it into higher education and policy, you want to hear from someone in higher education. How do you spread your learnings? What are some ideas? What works for you? What does not work for you? When you're a policymaker, how can new ideas come to you, right? So you're going to the audience to get some information. So we'll have the opportunity this morning to have some outside interviewees that the group will ask some questions, and we will prepare you for the interviews, these conversations. And you'll gather, these represent ideas. All of these dots are in this morning. Your group is going to, with Post-it notes, have many, many, many ideas and learnings from the interviewee. You'll gather all of those. We will take you through the process. These are a lot of words, but it's just a big overview for you, but we'll hold your hand throughout. And we'll find themes in the data that you have heard from the interviewees. What are common things we keep hearing they're talking about? So it sounds like they need, what can we provide for them that will make it easier for them to do their job, better for them to innovate in life sciences, things like this. So we'll choose one main theme, and we will move it through to design. So again, we'll have this, and then this afternoon, we'll move into design. And design is the time of really big brainstorming, where we go all the way to possibilities. And we think of different solutions, many, many ideas, and we really then get to see what brains we have in our groups. And then we, again, look for some themes, because this experience is very big, broad, and narrow, Not just many ideas, okay, bye, thank you, have fun. You know, it's important for us to be doing this along the way. And so we will choose a design idea that everyone feels like is good and innovative, and you know, you're coming from many different places, so there'll be some compromise. We're going to ask you to compromise along the way. Listen to each other, and know that you're here for a group experience. And then tomorrow morning, we will have the chance to prototype, which is super, they're all fun, let's just say. Prototyping is you have materials to start to build, with art materials. What could this idea really look like? Corinna's already laughing because she's very sick. She already knows it's going to be fun for you, this whole process. She's so excited. Prototyping, you will really start to model how could the system work, like that you're dreaming up and things like this. And then scale and spread will be the end of the day tomorrow, where we really think about how can you get your idea into the world? How is this a real possibility? What are some next steps? How is it realized? What resources would you need to take your idea forward? And we'll have some time to even think with Corinne at the end of it, some real next steps. Maybe there are some smaller groups that really work together to move it. So this experience, it's called an Action Collab, and we want you to know that it's a process and it's a product. So you will both experience this, and maybe when you go back to your organization, you will say, a new frame we can put on this, or with your colleagues, let's all take Post-it notes and brainstorm in this way, or something. And then also you will have an idea at the end of it. So, so we ask that you are open to the process, and Megan's going to give a little more information around how and why we do this with you.